Hey guys, welcome to Let's Chat with Lundyn. I am your host, Lundyn Brown, your Matamoros, Mexico surgery guide and host to recovery. I am also the owner of Exquisite Dow House, Texas. We are a luxury post-op recovery home, and we are servicing women that are traveling to Matamoros, Mexico, Progreso, and Reynosa for cosmetic surgery. So listen, we're located 10 minutes from the border. We're still on the U.S. side, so if that's going to be your choice, we want to be your option. So don't forget us here. You can find out more about us. We're at exquisitedollhouse.com or 888-918-0690, extension 5. Not going to spend a whole lot of time there, but we will be revisiting it in our BBL section, okay? If this is your first time joining me, I want to say welcome to the show and thank you so much for joining me. If you're back, I want to say thank you for coming back. For all of you guys that have subscribed, that like, that share the show, thank you, thank you, thank you. Our goal is to bring you content to the show that's going to really keep you informed and hopefully help you navigate your journey to surgery. If you think my content is helpful, please, if you have not already, hit the subscribe and share the show with others who may be considering cosmetic surgery out of the country. If you're going to the DR, I can't help you yet. That's not my stomping grounds, not even a place I prefer. I'm going to keep my personal opinions to myself because I've never been there, so really can't judge. So we don't have a whole lot of time. I try to move this show as quick as possible. Today's show is probably going to be just a little bit longer than normal because I'm going to try and introduce you to some of the headliners out there or the surgeons, okay? So give you some pictures, tell you a little bit about their coordinators, and we're going to try and do a highlight or spotlight for some surgeons. So if you're planning to have cosmetic surgery, there are so many benefits of going out of the country, starting from not just price, but price is a very big benefit, but also BMI. BMI was one of the reasons I chose to travel out of the surgery. It was the best decision of my life. I couldn't have done anything better, and I'm telling you, I'm so happy I did it. It's essential just to do your research on the surgeons because picking the right one is super important. It's a decision I can't make for you. I can give you all of this information, but at the end of the day, you have to sort through the information and you have to make the best decision for you. So today I'm going to be bringing you some of those surgeons from the Matamoros area. I try and do it a little bit in every show, but I'm going to really try and dig deep. Mind you, there are so many more surgeons that I have never even heard of yet because a lot of the old school surgeons don't even have coordinators. They don't advertise. So it's like finding needles in the haystack. Okay. All right, so let's roll right into our first segment. Chatter Tuck. So Dr. Castro, he's actually on the hot seat for infection accusations. So most recently, there has been quite a few girls that are coming forward saying that they caught this flesh-eating bacteria from surgery with Dr. Castro. Now, if you remember back a few shows ago, this was something similar to what was going on with Dr. Garcia. She's been real quiet over at Sugar Dolls lately, so I'm not going to put them on the spotlight because they're not on the spotlight. But that is some of the things that was happening. So let me tell you a few things that I love. Dr. Castro did actually make a statement. You know, he took full accountability for it. He did inform that he feels like he needs to be more instrumental in making sure the equipment and things are clean. He would do everything in his power to work with the girls. And it was a whole long statement, right? So I thought that was very big. First of all, it takes a lot to own up and take accountability for something like that. I also do know that there are a lot of times surgeons they're not instrumental in cleaning the equipment. Normally the clinic does that. So you really have to trust the clinic that you have a relationship with. And since I'm thinking Dr. Castro has been working in this clinic before, wherever this clinic was, and I have an idea of where the clinic was, but I don't want to name the clinic because I'm not 100% certain, and I like to have my facts. But I think that was what was going on. The thing, though, besides the infections with the women, because I believe this has come up for Dr. Castro before, and it's been quite some time, and it kind of the chatter had died down, and now it's back. But you kind of have to watch it because sometimes there will be incidents where people will share the same stories over. In this particular incident, I did make sure that they were not the same girls or girls sharing the same stories of the same girls that made the complaints. They were different girls. My biggest thing I think right now is that there is some accusations of being blocked from the group. So now I always say there is a group and then there's a hate group for it, right? So there is a botched by Dr. Castro hate group or something. I don't know, because I don't know how many, it's so many hate groups, so many doctors. But apparently, I'm being told that anytime you join this group, or if you've ever liked or commented or anything related to anything negative involving or even asking questions, trying to do research, that girls are being blocked from Dr. Castro's group. Now, when someone sent me the statement from Dr. Castro, I did go into Dr. Castro's group in an attempt, or I tried to go into his group in an attempt to make a statement of support to say, you know what, I appreciate you taking accountability and saying you're going to give your all to make sure these women are taken care of. Because for me, the women are the most important people. I want to make sure they're safe and taken care of. But when I went in the group to write, I was blocked from the group. Now, I am very neutral, so I don't spew anything. I don't get caught up in drama, but I do offer unbiased opinion, fact based. I don't ever give any girl, a lot of girls come to me, even when they don't stay at my recovery house, just for advice, what I've heard about this doctor. I literally just give facts. That's it. But I decided to reach out to Dr. Castro myself and see what it is that had caused him to block me from the group. He actually responded, and I'm going to try and see if I can find the message that he responded back to me. I get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages. You would think I would have had this ready since I know I was getting ready for a show, but I didn't. If I can't find it, I'm going to have to. Oh, I found it. Okay. So he said, it's human to be wrong, and I think I was wrong with you. I apologize. Right now, I see that they've unblocked you. Yes, a person may, because I said, is there something that I missed that I have given you an accurate or inaccurate feeling toward me? He said, yes, a person made comments to me and I believe those comments, which was wrong. But after reading your post, I realized that I did wrong. That's why I apologize. So I always appreciate accountability, and I always appreciate someone accepting the fact that maybe something that they thought or said is wrong, because we are humans at the end of the day. Now, then I started to see all these other girls saying that they were blocked from the group, and that, so I don't really know what's going on with that. My suggestion is that you reach out to Dr. Castro if you are in fact blocked from the group and ask. All you can do is have a conversation. I don't know if it's Dr. Castro that's doing the blocking or if it's coordinators. Before I reached out to Dr. Castro, I had reached out to Crystal, which is one of his coordinators that, sorry, you see that fly, that actually had introduced herself to me when I was down in Brownsville visiting my recovery house. And I do know she's one of his head coordinators. So I reached out to her, and the message was basically, no, I don't know. So I decided to reach out to Dr. Castro and ask myself. So if you can't get any feedback from the coordinators, or they're saying they don't know why you're blocked, reach out to Dr. Castro, ask him. If you have any questions about his infections, he seems to be an open book. He seems to want to take accountability. So reach out. We had a lot of women canceling for that. I'm not going to say if that's right or wrong. What I'm going to say is that if you cancel your surgery every time you see something in a group about a surgeon, you almost will never have surgery. If a surgeon has no deaths, no infections, honey, they're not operating enough, or they're not truthful. When you're operating on hundreds of women, there's always going to be a possibility for an infection or death or something, because surgery is dangerous and health and everything weighs in. So keep that in mind. Make sure your research is thorough. Do not make or base your research off an opinion. Make sure it's fact based and make sure it is the best decision for you. So that's what's going on in that world. Let's roll over to our wasted segment. Ladies, let's talk about the fajas. You know, I see so many women that come out of surgery and they look great. They look snatched. And literally, they're like 2 weeks post-op. And they're posting these photos with clothing that's revealing that you can see they don't have their faja on. That is too soon to be outside of your faja. Your faja is so important for many reasons. Taking them off to school too soon can skew your results. Fajas help, they aid in sculpting, moving everything into the right place, especially after lipo. They work with massages to limit fibrosis. There's a lot of women that say, oh my gosh, I got these hard knots. You got to get your massages, and you got to keep your faja, your ab board on. I still have I had my second round of lipo March 31st. I still wear my faja and my ab board. Let me stand there for you. I have it on right now. I don't know if you can see it. I always have on my faja and my ab board every day, because the truth of the matter is I'm going to have enough time to show my body. I want to make sure I'm healed properly, and I want to make sure I get the results that I want. I also understand that, I mean, if I wasn't ready to do the work, I shouldn't have got surgery. So I knew that the faja wasn't going to be the most comfortable. When you wear it, you get used to it. You will get used to it. Wear your faja, wear your foams, wear your ab board, do the work so you can minimize the swelling, get healed, and get the best possible results. Wear your faja, ladies. All right, let's roll on to best augmentation. All right, so I polled the audience. Let's talk about checking your labs. Check your labs before you fly down for surgery. You can ask your coordinator what labs you need. You can get labs from that are very inexpensive if you can't get them through your insurance through Jason's Health. It is a website that will connect you with one of their like laboratories around in your area, and it's very inexpensive. I think last time I got all my labs for like $50. Everything I need. I check my labs multiple times. I check my labs a couple months out because if for some reason, let's say your hemo's low, right? Because hemo and blood pressure is big out there, especially if you're over your BMI. I also I didn't want a blood transfusion or anything like that. I wanted to make sure I was going to be able to come out there and get what I want. Now I know I struggle with hemo. Like right now, SSS tonic. You can also use Floridix. I take this and I take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, and I take that 3 times a day right now. I'm on a regimen because I'm getting ready to go back. So I'm getting myself together. I'm going to check my labs before I'm going to say maybe 60 days out, I check my labs, and I check my labs out again 30 days. You need at least, I'm going to say maybe at least 3 weeks to get everything in order. So you need to check your labs early because if something is wrong, you need time to make sure you can get it up if you plan to have surgery. Also, please make sure you're not pregnant before you book your surgery, before you book your recovery house. It is your responsibility to make sure your labs are intact. And part of the labs actually is a blood pregnancy test. These are things you should make sure before you go booking. I know you all say, "Oh, I'm not pregnant." I know I'm not pregnant. Check it. Okay? Because I had it happen to somebody. Check it. All right? Make sure you got everything intact. And last but not least, your recovery home. Do not wait to the last minute to book your recovery home. If you do that, I assure you, you're going to be unable to find one. The recovery homes out there in Brownsville and Matamoros both, they book up quick. Now, I have to really walk on eggshells about the things I say in the recovery home process because I own a recovery home. I don't want people to think that I'm saying something negative about their home or negative about other homes or that I think my home is the best, although I do. But I try to be really cautious on how I speak about recovery home. I will say this, you're going to get what you pay for. Don't forget that. So if you go out there saying, I want to stay in the cheapest price, do not go later in the groups and complain about what you got because you really get what you pay for. Think about it. There's people that say, oh, I want to stay in a hotel. I want to stay at Airbnb. I'm going to hire a nurse. That's fine. The nurse doesn't stay overnight. The nurse is going to stay a specific amount of time. And when you get these surgeries in the middle of the night, you need help cleaning up the bathroom and stuff like that. It's just, you got to weigh in all this stuff. Weigh in because they say, oh, it's too expensive for recovery houses. Let's talk about your hotel, your food, and if you have a companion, your companion's food and your transportation. A recovery house is a bet. Trust me. If you can do a recovery house, I recommend that first. If you have to do or you choose to do a nurse, make sure you look into the nurse that you're doing. Make sure somebody that's honest, that's not going to steal from you. Make sure they got a real license because there is a lot of people that say they're nurses and they do not have a license. So think about that. And last but not least, you don't need a nurse to take care of you. You need someone that knows what they're doing because a lot of people have the nurse title. They don't specialize in post-op care. They don't know how to take care of you, and then they come with you, and all they are is just a hindrance for the people that really know what they're doing. Okay? So keep that in mind. Let's roll on into Info 360. Okay, so you got to do the work. Surgery is just meant to get you started. It's not a magic pill. You still got to make sure you take care of yourself, eat properly, try to change your eating habits. Try and change your lifestyle. Do something like minimal. If you can, add like some cardio 3 times a week. If you don't like going to the gym, maybe just add walking into it. But try to do something, try to get active. Keep your results. You don't have to keep going back in that surgery if you don't have to. When you come out of surgery, you're looking like boom, boom, bam. Keep it. You done spent that money, keep it. Trust me. I see so many return patients, and I love it because I want to take care of you. But you don't have to, because if you just do just minor changes, you can actually keep your results. Okay. Also, let's talk about real quick again. I'm going to go over about what you need to travel. You're traveling, so you're going to fly into Brownsville, Texas, or Harlingen, Texas. That's on the state side. You do not need a passport. To drive across to Mexico or be driven across to Mexico, you're going to need your original birth certificate and your ID. Do not come with warrants. Don't. Going into Mexico, you'll be okay, but coming back is a big risk. The U.S. they will run your name. And if you have a warrant, it is very likely that you will go to jail. Just don't risk it. Don't try to go into Mexico with drugs, and don't try to come out of Mexico with drugs. You try to go into Mexico with drugs and you get caught, you're going to the Mexican jail. If you try to come out, you're going to the U.S. jail, and they will bank you. Don't do it. It's not even worth it. Just don't. Now, next up, right now, we're going to be highlighting one of the surgeons out there. So today's highlight is going to be Dr. Paez Morales, and we're highlighting him, yay, for his service to patients. Patients love Dr. Paez. They say that his bedside manners is impeccable. He calls and checks up. I do know for certain Dr. Paez will visit recovery homes if something's going on with his patients. We have welcomed him into our home before. He does do that. I hear that he's an all-around great doctor. I have a very good working relationship with Liz, which is one of his head coordinators. And so I do love them, and patients love them. So that's what's more important. It's really not what I think, but it's what other people think. They have zero drama. Literally, there was somebody that dropped something in a group with Dr. Paez, and the response was impeccable. I've never seen anything like it. Their response was, "We apologize that this happened, and we really want to take care of you. Somebody please connect us with who this happened before so that we can connect." I thought that was amazing. And I'm ad-libbing, of course. But I thought that was amazing on their behalf. It wasn't any drama. He didn't try to defend himself. He wanted to know, who is this, so I can make sure that this person is taken care of. So great job to the team over there. It's zero drama in the group. I love it. Our next highlight is going to be Dr. Rivera. Okay, yay, he's a spotlight. Let's talk about Dr. Rivera and why we're spotlighting him today. Dr. Rivera was formerly with Body by Doctor. If you don't know who Body by Doctor is, it's a small group of coordinators who do bookings for a network of doctors. It's owned by a girl named Ashley. She's still like the head coordinator. She recently brought some new doctors. She acquires a lot of the different doctors that don't have coordinators. So she's even right now, I think, going into Reynosa getting doctors. There's a lot of fuss around BBD. That's what it's called for short, for drama and treatment of women and just a whole lot. They even got a whole hate group devoted to this group. So we'll talk more about them later. But if you're in the groups, you probably already know. I'm going to talk about some of the doctors in the network that she represents later in the show. But right now, we're talking about Dr. Rivera. So Dr. Rivera and Body by Doctor, they separated. Dr. Rivera wrote an excellent statement of departure. And I thought it was so professional and so wonderful and so well written and handled so wonderfully. He said, I basically, in a nutshell, I wish them the best. We have decided to separate. You know, you can catch me. It was no drama, no undertone. He didn't bash him, nothing. Kudos to Dr. Rivera. Because if you know, it can get really messy out there. And it did get really messy, but it wasn't from him. So kudos to him. I have actually taken care of girls that have had work with Dr. Rivera. I am a lover of his BBLs. I didn't have to get a BBL ever in life because I was born with too much booty, but I love it. It's just his work, it looks impeccable. And he has a new coordinator. Her name is Alyssa. She is wonderful. This girl is so sweet, so professional. Her group has zero drama. I'm telling you, if you're going to book with Dr. Rivera, go through Alyssa. She's wonderful, very professional. I love people that have no drama. So that's great. And then, of course, my doctor, of course, which is Dr. Juan Martin Castillo. I love, love, love Dr. Castillo. Of course, I'm giving him free promo because I love him. He's done all my work. He is, for me, the king of big girls. He literally has transformed my body. The clinic that he operates out of is MG. The clinic is immaculately clean. You can smell the clean when you walk through the door. The rooms are clean. The sheets are clean. I hear a lot of people complaining about some of the clinics out there. It's the clinic where he operates is clean. When you walk into the surgery room, literally you don't even walk in there with shoes on. They put like the little hospital slippers on you when you go in there. I mean, it's clean. They got on gloves, they like literally. So I mean, everything they have is just clean. So I love that. Um, Lately, there's been no talk of infections. There's a lot of gossip around Dr. Castillo from back in the day. I think he had a death before, but I'm not sure because they mix him up between him and his, I don't know if it's his father or his brother. I don't know. But when I was doing research years ago, there was some talk surrounding him, and but everywhere I would look, it would be the same story. And I stuck with him, and I'm telling you, I just haven't regretted it at all. I love Dr. Castillo. All right, so let's talk about some of these doctors because we are running out of time. So I'm going to try and give you. So let's talk about the first one. We are talking about Dr. B. Matamoros. Right there, and I hope I'm holding it up in the right hand because I'm going to stick a picture up there for you. I actually recently had a girl that's booked with him, and I asked people that have had surgery what they thought. They loved him. They said his bedside manners is impeccable. I believe he is under the BBD or Body by Doctor network, but people love him. They say the clinic where he operates is clean. So if you're trying to book him, I think he is through BBD. Then there's Dr. Cabrera. I had just heard about him. Actually, one of my well, she stayed with me, so she's a client, but now I consider her a friend. We became very close through the process. She was the first person I've ever taken care of from him. I check in with her from time to time. She's had no complications, and she seems to be satisfied with her work. Next was Dr. Castro. We talked about him earlier. Dr. Castro was the one with the infection talk surrounding him, with the accountability that we talked about, the blocking of the group earlier in the show. One of his coordinators is Crystal, but he has several coordinators. He also has a group. It's Elder Castro. So you can find him there. Then there's Dr. Chavez. I have taken care of a very good friend. She wasn't a patient, but we became friends. Dr. Chavez did her work. Then there is Dr. Gullion. Uh, and a couple shows ago, there was a whole lot of talk about infections with Dr. Gullion. I actually got blocked from his group, so I think maybe it might be because they saw the show, but it's not anything or any type of way I feel. I'm just reporting facts. So, Dr. Gullion. Then there is Dr. Hernandez. I don't know a whole lot about Dr. Hernandez, but someone did say they had worked with him and they loved it. Then there's Dr. Ledesma, or Dre Ledesma, I should say. Dre Ledesma is very popular out there. A lot of girls like her. There was a lot of talk about infections and necrosis for tummy tucks for Dre Ledesma. But there's a lot of girls that go to her. They love it. They love that she gives the vixen look right off the table. She is in the Body by Doctor network. Oh, and so is Dr. Cabrera. Not sure if Dr. Hernandez is. Then there is Dr. Joel Maldonado, aka King of Lipo. Dr. Maldonado, he has several coordinators. One is Daisy, whom I love. Then there's Latoya George, and I got to think of what the other one, the moderator in there. I'll have to get in and get back to you. But uh, no drama. The groups are just drama free. And then of course there's Dr. Martin Castillo, my doctor. Kind of told you a little bit about him earlier. Then there is Dr. Martinez. Now, Dr. Martinez, I love Dr. Martinez. He used to work with Dr. Castillo. I don't know what happened with them. I don't think he wasn't there the last time I went, but now I think he's all branched off on his own. I don't know much about the work that he does on his own, but I know that he was a part of the team that did one of my surgeries before. Then, of course, there's Dr. Paez. We highlighted Dr. Paez earlier and kind of told you a little bit about him. Then there is Dr. Rivera. We also highlighted Dr. Rivera. Here we have Dr. Salgado. Dr. Salgado is very popular. He is with Body by Doctor. Women love, love, love his work. They do not love his bedside manners. I heard he's very direct and to the point. I don't know because I haven't had any experience with Dr. Salgado other than his work. His work is impeccable. The girls that come to me from Dr. Salgado, they look very, very good. Then there is Dr. Tello. Dr. Tello is becoming really big in Reynosa. I've taken care of a couple girls from Dr. Tello. They seem to love his work. They love his bedside manner. So, and I believe he has recently been acquired by the Body by Doctor network. So that is some of the surgeons, or what I call the headliners out there. There's so many more. I'm going to try and keep you updated on all of them to come. And then I'm going to try and do that spotlight for the doctors and everything. And then maybe in the upcoming shows, I can get some of the coordinators to come on and kind of tell you a little bit about themselves. Last but not least, we're going to roll into the Brazilian business lift so we can go ahead and wrap this show up. Just some business promotions. The first business is Extraordinary Designs. It is a woman-owned custom jewelry, clothes, and more. They have gorgeous, gorgeous bracelets, more gorgeous than Pandora with designer charms. I love it. The owner is super sweet, super professional, and she is super, super, what's the word? A perfectionist because she loves the bracelets to be perfect. So I love that about her. Also, then there is my faja collection. I have waist trainers, high quality fajas, waist trainer leggings, shorts, so much more. I'm going to have ad boards, I think, coming, BBL pillows, Waisted Goddess. You can visit us. My whole site is on www.exquisitedollhouse.com. Ladies and gents, if it's gents, ladies and, wait, no, I think it's dolls and Ken dolls. Is that how you say it? I got to work on it. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, thank you, thank you for liking, sharing. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure whatever you do, you be safe doing it. Make sure that whatever decision you make, it is the best decision for you. Thank you again so much for joining, and I will see you next time.